Welcome. Thank you for joining us on Western Mass News at 6. I'm Glenn Kittle. That was a really cool animation. I didn't see it up until now. As part of Easter tradition, families and friends across our area are celebrating the holiday with a meal, but not everyone ate at home today. Instead, some headed out of the area for restaurants. Western Mass News reporter Olivia Hickey joins us live in studio after checking in with Taste of Lebanon in West Springfield. Olivia?
Glenn, owner, manager, and chef Nisween Al-Kial tells me they chose to keep their doors open today because they love celebrating with people and look forward to seeing everyone in their Sunday best. But she does admit this holiday was slower. She thinks the economy has an impact.
Usually they come here, a lot of people come with chocolates, with flowers, and we give a lot of baklava. I think it's too close to Christmas. People are not done with their taxes.
Another factor, diet change. During the season of Lent leading up to Easter, some people give up meat and/or fast. And the same thing during Ramadan. But they're not intimidated. Al-Kial tells me they're expecting business to pick up in the coming weeks after the Easter holiday and with the end of Ramadan Eid around the corner. We hear more about their preparations tonight at 10 and 11. Reporting in the studio, Olivia Hickey, Western Mass News.